Okay. Folks, can I get your attention, please? I know you all have been waiting patiently, but the board, I'm going to entertain a motion to go back to closed session for a few minutes to have a discussion. So that motion, if somebody would make that.
Second.
Mr. Lang, second by Ms. Ferguson, by roll call.
Ms. Ferguson?
Aye.
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 Thank you. We'll be brief and we'll be right with you.
I'm bringing my computer.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
Nope. Okay. Only 3 patron comments.
Thank you for your patience. We took care of some very important business, and I think you'll be happy. Board will entertain a motion to, actually, we needed to pledge allegiance first. Sorry about that. I'm not sure, who's doing pledge allegiance? Okay, National Board Certified Teachers, you guys are on for the national anthem. Pledge allegiance. Too much on my mind right now. Who's singing? Board will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Lang, second by Ms. Ferguson. Any discussion? Hearing none by roll call.
Ms. Ferguson?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Recognitions.
Thank you, Mr. Lafata. First, introduce our student board representative, Sager Middle School Principal Dr. Candy Worley.
Good evening, Board. How's that work? Good evening, Board of Education, the Executive Cabinet, Dr. Mary Hendricks-Harris. I'm very excited to introduce Mr. Spencer Roadcap, who is a student at Sager Middle School. He has attended the Francis Howell School District all of his life. He is involved in the Junior Spartan Ambassador Program. He is a Spectra student. He excels academically in all subjects and is a model Spartan. He is kind to all of his fellow students. Models are pillars of respect, responsibility, and safety, and his teachers and counselors and principals find him to have exemplary character. Mr. Spencer Roadcap.
Thank you, Dr. Worley. There are only about 1,000 students in the United States every year who achieve perfection when taking the ACT test. David Yang from Francis Howell High School and Kaylee Ammon from Francis Howell Central are part of that 0.06% of almost 2 million students who did what many think is impossible. They scored a perfect 36 on the ACT. David, would you come forward, please? But wait, there's more. David is only a sophomore at Francis Howell High School, and when looking at his academic resume, a perfect ACT score doesn't come as much of a surprise. With a 4.67 GPA, he ranks first academically in his class. This year, he is enrolled in 4 AP classes, including Calculus BC, which is the highest high school math class available, as well as chemistry, physics, and world history. In addition, he also has the time to be a member of the swimming club and the Scholar Bowl. The perfect ACT score was just another in a long list of honorable achievements. Last May, he won his category in the Mathematical Association of America competition, and last year, he was the second-ranked freshman Scholar Bowl participant in St. Charles County. David Yang, ladies and gentlemen.
You want your principal?
Yeah, we'll come in.
How about your principal? You want him?
In the lobby.
Oh, okay. We'll Photoshop them in.
Congratulations.
Francis Howell Central senior Kaylee Ammon couldn't be here tonight because of her winter guard commitment. While that dedication to practice prevents her from being here this evening, it's also that same dedication that helped her achieve a perfect score on the ACT. Sure, both David and Kaylee will have the brightest of futures ahead of them. Congratulations again. And working with our high-achieving students are, of course, our high-achieving teachers. Tonight, we honor the newest member and renewing members of an elite group of our certified staff. We welcome a teacher who has recently obtained her national board certification and 4 other teachers who have met the qualifications to renew their certification. Can we have our NBC teachers come on up, please? The rigorous process of certification in one of 25 areas supports teachers as they reflect on their practice and become even better teachers for the benefit of students. There are 4 components to the certification process: written assessment of content knowledge, reflection on student work samples, video and analysis of teaching practice, and documented impact and accomplishments as a teaching professional. Currently, the state of Missouri has 946 educators who have achieved this distinction, 106 of whom are from Francis Howell. Our staff has the highest percentage of NBC teachers in Missouri, and we are second only to Rockwood in the total number. At this time, we'd like to recognize these exemplary educators here with us tonight. With our initial certification, Christy Koloth, kindergarten teacher at Becky David. And with renewed certification, Diane Fingers, Language Arts at Francis Howell North. Rod Lohman, Social Studies at Hollenbeck. Jennifer Miller, Spanish teacher at Francis Howell Central. Shelley Parks, Language Arts at Francis Howell North. And 2 teachers who could not be with us tonight, Janet Eubanks and Katie Masterakos. Congratulations to all of our National Board certified teachers. Thank you, Mr. Lafata.
Thank you and congratulations to all. How you doing down there, Spencer?
Good.
All right. Okay, next item on the agenda is patron comments. And I've got three here. First one is Mary Biter. Okay. The next one is Wendy Nicorette. Okay. And the next one is Patrick and Mary Lang. I'm Patrick Lane and Mary Lang. Sorry. Sorry.
Good evening, Board. Unfortunately, yesterday, the Prop Hall Committee had to drop the lawsuit against the St. Charles County Election Authority. While we are well aware that there are numerous issues within the split precincts, the legwork required for us to prove and reach the over 1,500 required votes was too involved for our small committee. Unfortunately, all of this could have been avoided if the election authority would have responded to our sunshine request in a timely manner. When they did finally respond, it was 3 days before the deadline to file a dispute. We received over 900 pages of data, and within those 900 pages of data, it did not include everything we had needed or asked for. So this had prompted us to hire legal counsel. The Prop Hall Committee believes that we have made the Director of Elections aware of the community's concerns. We are disappointed we could not get the results we fought hard to do, but just know we have not stopped advocating for our community. We appreciate everyone's efforts and support over the last 7 months, and our committee will continue to support all children that reside within the Francis Howell School District. Thanks.
Thank you. FHEA? FISPA? SAA? Patron comment report. Board will entertain a motion to approve the patron comment report is submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Cope, second by Mr. Lang. Any discussion? By roll call?
Mr. Lang?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Board will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Ferguson, second by Mr. Lang. Any discussion? Hearing none by roll call?
Mr. Hain?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. We're up to the MSBA board report.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Missouri School Boards Association's board report for the month of February. We thank you for the opportunity to share some news and information during a few minutes of your board meeting. We begin with a look at how school districts can meet the health and mental health needs of students. There's no doubt the physical and mental health concerns of students can have an impact on their ability to learn at school. Schools attempt to meet those needs in many ways, such as providing school nurses and counseling. But a few schools in Missouri now have established school-based health and mental health clinics. MSBA has formed a school-based health clinic task force to bring together schools, state agencies, and other service providers to share successful programs and forge partnerships that might allow more students greater access to the health and mental health services they need. One such school-based health clinic is in the Jennings School District in the St. Louis area. Superintendent Art McCoy says it's important to meet students where they are.
The larger question has to occur as to how we support our children and then our staff so that overall achievement and attendance and health increases, because all of us are dedicated towards the wellness of our students, staff, and entire school community. So it was great to share tips, ideas, and to see great collaborations between the healthcare providers and the school systems.
Another superintendent attending a recent meeting of MSBA's school-based health clinic task force was Kim Hawk from the Plato School District in southern Missouri. She's hoping her district can do more to address student health and mental health issues so they come to school ready to learn.
I think that all school districts struggle with trying to make sure that the kids' basic levels of needs are met. Their food, medical needs, mental and emotional needs, safety and security needs, and for many, many kids, that's what is in the way of being successful academically. If we can alleviate those needs, then we're going to be able to focus on academics. We'd love to be able just to think every child will come in and be rip-roaring and ready to learn, but that's not always the case, and we need to help take care of some of those other bigger challenges so they can focus on school.
The MSBA School-Based Health Clinic Task Force is continuing its meetings with a special emphasis on improving access to mental health services for students throughout the state. The 2017 legislative session is well underway now. Governor Greitens delivered his State of the State address on January 17th, during which he outlined some of his legislative priorities, including support for education savings accounts for special needs students. Legislation now under consideration would expand those accounts to all K-12 students, not just for special needs students. MSBA is concerned that ESAs are simply another form of a voucher program that would funnel taxpayer money to private schools that are not accountable to the public. We urge you to contact your legislators and ask them to oppose education savings accounts and all other voucher programs that have the potential to divert money away from our public schools. We'll keep you updated on legislative developments again this year through our Legislative Voice newsletter sent to members via email each Friday during the session, our Capitol Watch video program posted on the MSBA website, our Twitter feed, and through our critical issue alerts. Please keep in contact with your local legislators during the 2017 session as they consider issues that have an impact on our public schools. And don't forget to register for your region's School Board Advocacy Network Day in Jefferson City. Your SBAN visit will include a briefing on current legislative issues at MSBA's Member Relations Center, and then you'll have the opportunity to visit your local legislators at the Capitol. The event is free, but we do ask you to register in advance through the MSBA website. The 2017 Early Childhood Education Program of the Year Award applications are open through March 31st. Districts submitting applications will be judged on effective practices and innovative solutions in early childhood education, and 3 statewide winners will be announced based on student population: under 500 students, 501 to 4,000 students, and over 4,000 students. The Early Childhood Education Program of the Year Award is sponsored by MSBA's foundation, Future Builders. Well, the best thing about the MSBA annual conference in cooperation with MASA is you. Get your school team together and submit your presentation for a chance to present at this year's conference. More than 100 presentations by school districts are showcased at the conference each year, and they provide valuable information on successful programs. You can submit a proposal for a presentation at the 2017 annual conference through the MSBA website. The annual conference this year is scheduled for October 6th through 8th. That's it for this month's edition of the MSBA Board Report. Thanks for allowing us to have some time at your board meeting, and so long from Columbia.
that report is so important these days, and also what's happening down in Jeff City and nationally can affect education, and it's so important. If you've got a state representative, that you stay in contact with their senator to stay on top of the issues and make sure that we fight for public education, because it could be changing. You know, we need to keep an eye on it. So. Item number 9 is best practices early childhood.
I'd like to introduce the administrator for tuition-based programs, Susie Lane, and she will present a best practice in our early childhood program, focusing on preschool programming. Susie? She also has 2 of her early childhood principals with her, Jane McKinney and Mary Calkins.
Okay. Good evening, members of the Board of Education. As stated, our best practice report is on early childhood programming, specifically our preschool this evening. Nationally accepted guidelines in early childhood have been developed by the National Association for the Education of the Young Child to support the young child's optimal learning and development. These guidelines are grounded in research on child development and learning. They are the foundation for the decisions made in the implementation and development of our early childhood programming in Francis Howell. Preschool is a child's first community outside of the home. Personal social development is a key area of focus as our friends learn how they can expect to be treated and how to treat others in a community. Hackman is a PBS school and has created a series of lessons and matrices to guide learning. Their school song highlights the goals to be safe, be kind, be responsible. Central School Road is a character education school. Activities to reinforce their key traits are implemented at both home and school. Their focus traits are take care of yourself, take care of your friends, take care of your school and home. Meadows Parkway also follows philosophies of character education to guide their social learning. All of our early childhood teachers strive to create a community of learners. If a child is not well grounded in personal social skills, they will not be able to focus on the other domains for learning presented. In addition to the PBS and character education initiatives in place, we implement the Second Step curriculum to support this important area of development. The Second Step Early Learning Program teaches skills to build self-regulation and social-emotional competence. Both are important for kindergarten readiness and school and life success. Children learn and practice vital skills for listening, paying attention, having empathy, managing emotions, building friendships, and solving problems with others. The Second Step program is designed to reduce behavior problems, improve classroom climate by building feelings of inclusiveness and respect, and increase a child's sense of confidence and responsibility. Our caring communities reach beyond our school walls as many community collaborations are in place to enhance our students' learning. The preschools work hand in hand with the City County Library, the Central County Fire Department, and the Dental Health Theater to provide programs for our students. The Lions Club provides amblyopia screenings on site to ensure vision concerns are caught early. Our Meadows Parkway site has a recent collaboration with Nike to promote physical well-being and enhancements in the playground area. When families were adopted this last Christmas season, all buildings received tremendous staff and community support. All of our teachers are certified in early childhood and/or early childhood special education. This ensures that our families have the opportunity for a high-quality educational experience for their child. Francis Howell Preschool has a variety of inclusionary settings that are a combination of multi-age or age-specific classrooms, both half-day programming and full-day programming. Teachers plan their lessons to be open-ended, allowing children to progress and achieve at their individual level. Developmentally appropriate teaching practices provide for a balance between adult and child-guided experiences. In all experiences, the teacher takes the responsibility for stimulating, directing, and supporting development by providing the experiences needed. Professional development and instructional strategies support the implementation of the curriculum and instruction to be meaningful to each student. Teaching effort is a key area of professional development this year. This focus assures teachers are providing strong instruction of the curriculum. Our preschool curriculum is aligned with kindergarten in order to assure students are exposed to the foundational skills needed for success in kindergarten. Curriculums used in preschool are the pre-K versions of Growing with Math, the Second Step curriculum, our Handwriting Without Tears curriculum, and we also have a district-written literacy curriculum. The curriculum is designed to help children meet goals through their learning experiences. This is accomplished through a mixture of play, large group and small group activities, learning centers, and daily routines. Buildings also set goals to focus on the learning at hand. Objective boards with visual icons are used to guide the student learning. Our Meadows Parkway site has a building-wide goal-setting initiative to build a super spud using Mr. Potato Head to gauge their success. It is quite the celebration every time a super spud is completed. Each early childhood family education center also sets building-wide goals in their site improvement plan. Their goals monitor overall mastery in language and literacy, mathematical thinking, behavior, and building climate. Assessment is used to plan and implement and evaluate the effectiveness of the classroom experiences. It also monitors progress towards the program goals. Preschool teachers participate in PLCs, sharing strategies and analyzing their data. Every PLC develops systems to collect, analyze, and use the formative assessment information to guide their classroom learning. A district-written summative assessment is administered twice a year to capture their growth and foundational skills. This report is shared with families at parent-teacher conferences and included in the student records going to kindergarten. If ever a student demonstrates the need for further support, parents and teachers collaborate to determine the best resource for the student. Parents and guardians are encouraged to participate in the life of the classroom by being a parent volunteer. As a parent volunteer, families are able to see the learning firsthand and be familiar with the preschool day. Parents are kept informed of school activities through the classroom newsletters, and at-home learning activities are included to support the learning across environments. The building site improvement plans call for a variety of ways to keep parents involved in their child's learning. For example, Central School Road sends home reading incentive sheets for completion at home. These types of activities strengthen the family connection to school goals. Other special family events are designed to bring families into the school. These programs vary from year to year. Some current examples of family events include the Meadows Parkway Digging with Dad, Central's Dive-In Theater, it's a Dad's Dive-In Theater theme this year, a duckling dance at Hackman, Picasso Penguin at Meadows, Family Fall Festival at Central, Discovery with Dad Science Day at Hackman, Grandparents' Days, and Mother's Day Teas. We are very proud of the hard work of our early childhood staff. They come to work each day ready to meet every student where they are and support them to have the very best day possible at school. The following slides demonstrate some of the special family events that we have in our early childhood programming. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you for your presentation. And I got to say, we've got some great educational leaders working in our early childhood program. And I got an opportunity to visit all of them this year. And there is a lot going on in them buildings. So it's a tremendous amount of work, and we appreciate your dedication and hard work and your staffs to making that program the best in the state. So congratulations.
Thank you. I do appreciate those kind words. And I would be a little bit remiss if I didn't let you know that the only reason Marcia could not be here tonight, Marcia Burke is principal at Central School Road. She's an instructor at the community college and has class tonight. And so she was going to try to make it, but couldn't get here.
Just to echo, we know that our strong preschool programs are so important to our elementary schools that you all do, the principals and the teachers. It is much appreciated every day because it is a difference maker in the end. So thank you very much.
We got a question up here, Mr. Hain.
It's really not a question. It's just a comment echoing, my grandson's in the program, and it's an awesome program. And just as a testament to the program, when the first night of orientation was, where you could sign them up for next year, it was over an hour and a half wait to get your kids enrolled. So that shows you the quality of the program and the value that the parents put on this program. So thank you guys for all
Thank you, Mr. Hain. And that was across the district. You just got to see one of the schools.
I would also like to make a quick comment about this. I think one of the things that maybe if you don't get out of our district enough that you may or may not be aware of is how different our early childhood program is from the typical early childhood program. And so you heard Ms. Lane talking about a school improvement plan, tracking data, literacy standards. Our teachers are teaching social emotional. That it is not babysitting. And our students are very busy. I was in Miss McKinney's building the other day, and our students are being asked a question in the center that I didn't know the answer to. And so they are being engaged in high-level thinking activities every day, And that takes a lot of planning and a lot of knowledge, not only about child development, but about standards and literacy development, and we should be very, very proud of our programs. It was a state recognized, it has been a state recognized program as being one of the best in the state, and I know that sometimes we get questions about why we have certified staff, and those are the reasons we have certified staff. We have certified staff in those buildings because of the high expectations we have, and we can't have people that just babysit in those classrooms. So just wanted, again, to say kudos and to help people understand the difference between our program and other programs.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is Best Practices Career Explorations Alliance.
I'd like to introduce Betsy Rivas, who is our K-12 Practical Arts Content Leader, and she's going to share about our partnership with the Career Education Alliance, and Dr. Greiner is here as well.
Good evening, everybody. I'll try not to take it personally that everybody left before my presentation. Just kidding. I'm honored tonight to have a couple of partners up here with me, Mrs. Betsy Rivas, our K-12 Practical Arts Content Leader, and also a superstar student at Francis Howell North, Lauren Wallasick, is with us tonight to give us a little testimonial about her experience with Career Exploration Alliance. So as you can see from the slide up there, Career Explorations Alliance is a partnership that we have with St. Charles Community College and local businesses to give our students experiences that are going to better prepare them for life after high school. So I'll turn it over at this time to Mrs. Rivas to give us some more details about CEA.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Greiner. Good evening, everyone. Jason, please. Quick video to introduce us to Career Explorations Alliance.
Graduating soon? Have you wondered?
What am I going to do with my life?
Can I have a job that pays well and that I enjoy?
How do I decide? Because there are endless possibilities.
By asking the right questions, you can start to narrow down your options.
Jobs in healthcare are stable, but am I okay with the intense schooling and everything else that goes with it?
Careers in construction and engineering are booming.
But what kind of an engineer?
Maybe I want to work with my hands repairing or creating.
The service industry is always in need of talented people. But what hours would I work? And how much money do they make?
So many questions.
The Career Explorations Alliance, or CEA, is going to help you find the answers.
CEA connects students like you to professionals to do job shadowing,
be mentored,
or your teacher can invite them into the classroom.
It's definitely a bridge between, you having the interest and somebody who can teach you about it. Because otherwise, it's not like I can go and walk into a pharmacy and say, hey, I'm going to follow you around for a day, because they won't let you do that.
With support of generous corporate sponsors.
Your school is able to make this free for you.
This is something more students need to be aware of to figure out what they want to do.
More than 1,000 students have already taken advantage of this. Talk to your teacher or counselor and ask how you can participate in CEA.
Okay, so that is a little bit of a depiction of CEA. So it's job shadowing and other things. So let me tell you a little bit about CEA. CEA really came to be last school year. And it was developed by a consortium of 6 St. Charles regional school districts. So that includes, of course, Francis Howell, the city of St. Charles, Fort Zumwalt, Wentzville, Orchard Farm, Lincoln Troy, and also included in Career Explorations Alliance is St. Charles Community College, providing service to their students as well. So Career Explorations Alliance, or CEA, provides 4 different types of experiences. We heard about job shadowing, mentoring, classroom presentations, and externships for teachers as well. So it is staffed by St. Charles Community College staff persons. So there are 3 people that really run the program for the schools, the participating schools. There is a director, a program manager, and then a coordinator. So they really respond to the requests that we put in and make those connections for us with industry professionals. The goal this year is to provide over 1,400 experiences for students and teachers. So taking a look back at last year, which was our inaugural year, We began providing experiences in the spring semester. So in Francis Howell, we were able to provide job shadowing experiences for 62 of our students. It's a great starting point. When you think about really those experiences happen between February and the end of April. So that's a lot of experiences in that short amount of time. And from the pie chart, you can see that job shadowing experiences are our greatest number of requests. And they provide the most direct experience for students in a career path as well. So I'm happy to see that number and that pie looking in that way. We had requests for 4 mentors last year. All of those were for Francis Howell High School, and 3 classroom presentations. So really, Career Explorations Alliance is geared towards seniors. Juniors may participate in job shadowing as well. But we can reach, all high school students through classroom presentations and even mentoring experiences in our schools. So this year, year-to-date, the number on the slide says 137 job shadowing requests. And I know that number is larger now. I looked today, and I think it's probably closer to 150 as of today, with 88 matches currently in progress. So the numbers grow across the board. We have had 11 mentor requests, 9 completed, and additional classroom presentation requests. There's a little preview of future presentations. Some of those classroom presentations happened last week in our We Love to Code event of the week. So we're looking at making externships possible, maybe as soon as this summer for our teachers. There's a lot of interest for that for teachers, especially I can speak in the business ed area, to get internships with business partners in the area. So part of the reason why we're seeing a recent balloon of requests is for CEA's Career Weeks. So Career Weeks are planned, you see, for the last week of March and first week of April. And the idea is really to sort of funnel requests into those 2-week periods and get the commitment of area professionals to host job shadowing experiences for the students in the consortium districts. So it's just focused on job shadowing experiences only in the workplace, of course. So we are looking at these high demand fields that are mentioned in the slide: health sciences, human services, business and technology, industry and engineering, technology, natural resources, agriculture, and the arts. So for us, it is continued push with our business ed department. Guidance counselors are working directly with students, and then a push with our PLTW students, which are a great fit in those high demand job areas as well. So the goal of CEA is to provide 865 job shadowing experiences in that 2-week period. So it's a huge goal, but we have a huge interest in our schools and a huge interest among our business partners to make those connections with our students, for their future career paths. So it's a great opportunity for students to evaluate, is this really an occupation or profession or even a career path I'm interested in? So it can be really affirming, but at the same time, it can be kind of life-altering, right, where they get into the workplace and decide maybe this isn't the best thing for me, maybe I need to look at another profession before they make that big investment after high school. So this is really kind of where we are right now, and Dr. Greiner's going to speak about another potential idea to grow this concept of connecting our students with industry professionals. Dr. Greiner.
Thanks, Mrs. Rivas. Like Betsy said, this is the second year of CEA, and we've made growth, and we're excited to have students out in the community partnering with businesses for job shadowing experiences. Those job shadowing experiences are anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, and it's just a very small experience. One of the things, as sort of building a collective vision for this effort in St. Charles County, is to move towards perhaps a Center for Advanced Professional Studies model, which would be kind of like the next iteration of CEA, allow our students to participate in unpaid job internships and really hone in on those professional skills that students need to be successful. And so just want to share some information for you tonight. We've been doing some investigation. We've been kicking the tires on a CAPS model. In fact, just this week, Ms. Walker, Ms. Weitzel, Dr. Hendricks-Harris, and myself had the privilege of joining a total of 30 professionals, both industry, school district, community college, people from St. Charles County with a wide variety of interests and contributions to the community to actually visit a program like this in North Kansas City, the Northland CAPS. And so lots of great experiences. It was incredible to see what these kids were capable of, and then we know that our kids are equally as capable as the students we saw in North Kansas City. So we're excited to continue that discussion, and hopefully we'll be able to bring some information to the board next year as we continue to talk about a CAPS model and really see the Career Explorations Alliance as a springboard to that CAPS model. So giving our kids just a small taste of what it's like to be an industry pro, and then hopefully moving them towards some long-term internships that can help further prepare them for college and career readiness. So we want to end tonight with just a brief testimonial. Our friend from Francis Hall North, Lauren Wallasick, is here just to talk about her experience with CEA. She had a chance to participate in a job shadowing experience not too long ago, and so we want Lauren to come up and tell us a little bit about her experience with CEA. Lauren.
Hello, I'm Lauren. I had the actual opportunity to meet April Haskin, and she actually took me into Villages of St. Peter's, and it's a home for older people who have memory loss and Alzheimer's disease, and it's a place where they really learn and are able to have people around them that take care of them, and they can, you know, be all right in the environment that they're in, and they're all right and they're stable in that environment. So I got to meet a lot of the neighbors, which is what they call them there. And while I was there, she taught me how she ties in marketing into what she does, and how marketing can be not only, you know, sitting in a cubicle doing marketing for a huge firm, but also getting to see and meet all the people that she works with, like the neighbors that she does. And while I was there, I had a great time. I got to meet a ton of them, and she introduced a ton of the workers there. And they made like this cute little poster for me when I walked in. It said, "Welcome, Lauren." It was really sweet, but I have it hanging up in my room. But it's probably one of my favorite experiences from high school, I have to say. So I'm very appreciative of the opportunity. So thank you.
Any comments or questions from the board?
What a great program. Very, very, it has a lot of substance, and it's going to provide opportunities for our kids. And that's neat that Lauren got to experience it firsthand. So you should be commended for your work. Very nice.
There are certainly programs that I wish existed when I was in high school, so I think it's a great opportunity to bring relevance to student learning. And certainly if we're able to expand that vision to have those be a longer time than just a 2 or 4 hour job shadow, to be that full internship, will be just truly amazing. I'd like to publicly thank Betsy for her work with CEA and just her work in general as the K-12 practical art leader, since tomorrow's her last day and she's leaving us to move to Dallas, Texas. So we wish you the best of luck in your new endeavors, and we are going to certainly miss you and the work that you provided and the support to our district.
I just want to say that's really big because Dr. Greiner's not a hugger.
We got enough film.
Okay, next item on the agenda is purchases over $7,500. Spencer, did Ms. Worley give you any indication and stuff that she needs? This is where we spend a lot of money. No? Okay. So she didn't ask for anything in particular, because this is where I turn the meeting over to you. You ready?
What'd she ask for?
What?
This is where the board spends a lot of money. Did she give you any indication of stuff that she needed at her school?
Anything at your school you guys?
No? Okay. All right, we'll let you off the hook. I'll continue to run the meeting for you, Spencer. Board will entertain a motion to approve purchase over $7,500 as presented.
Second.
Walker Summer. By roll call?
Ms. Ferguson?
Aye.
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 Motion carries 7-0. Board entertain motion to approve the monthly financial report as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Ms. Ferguson, second by Ms. Walker. Mr. Supple, do you have anything to add to this?
Yes, Mr. LaFatta, thank you. The one thing I did share with the board earlier this week in the board update, but because we have a chance with some of our representatives of the community here, just that we got the bill for the April board election this week, and it is $116,635, which is 3.5 times what the April election was last year. And we've had a lot of controversy about election costs, so I just thought it would be important to let the public know. Here's a standard April election that we've always been told is the cheapest time to do things, and it's 3.5 times what we paid last year. So the explanation from the Election Commission is that the community college and the ambulance district don't have items on the ballot, and so the costs of running the election are distributed across fewer entities, and all of the school districts are experiencing similar levels of increase. It certainly is something that I didn't anticipate, and as I noted in my comments to the board in the update, that line item will certainly be over budget this year because I would not have anticipated that. But again, not much we can do about it. We're exercising the rights of the community to have a voice in the operation of their school district, which I think is great. But I think it's just important that the community, if they're going to criticize the cost of elections, they have to understand there's a lot of variability in that.
Wow. Seems to me that there's been board elections all by themselves and nothing else was on the ballot, and we've not had this kind of bill. That's frightening.
Do we think that it's to deter us from having things on the ballot?
No, I don't. I certainly don't want to imply that in any way.
Do you think that we will see a huge, larger than normal refund? Because we typically see a pretty big refund. Do you think that maybe this is just an additional overestimation?
That's, I guess that's always a possibility.
Did Fort Zumwalt experience the same thing?
Yeah, I think their costs are about $110,000.
Were they surprised too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Interesting. Any other discussion on the financial report by roll call?
Mr. Lang?
Aye.
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 Motion carries 7-0. We're at policy review. This is a first reading. That'll be on the agenda for the next meeting. It'll be in the consent agenda. Item number B, 2016-17 strategic goals update.
So sometimes the board has us go through this, and sometimes they don't. Is the will of the board for us to review the strategic plan abridged version tonight?
I believe that we all had a chance to read it, and I think the bigger question is which company we're going to choose to move forward with a plan.
You're ahead one item on me.
Right.
Okay, you ready to move down to the next one?
Right.
So the strategic planning recommendation. Where we're at?
Yes, board, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Do we have a company in there that we're recommending?
If we were going to go outside, it would be the first one, so the Consortium for Educational Change.
Okay, well, let's not make a motion until we, I was in Washington, D.C. I'm not going to be a part of this, so I'll let the board have a discussion about the direction they'd like to go in, and Ms. Cope?
So I think where we left off, since I did run that meeting, I think where we left off is we had asked the cabinet to go out and secure some bids for our strategic planning. And after we had presentations from some very quality organizations, we directed them to take a look at what it would be if we did that in-house. Is that correct? I think that's where we left off. So I've done quite a bit of reading and investigating this, and I'll tell you, I've kind of gone back and forth. We're obviously in a financial situation that I want to respect, but as part of that, I want to make sure that we're using our resources properly. Efficiency is important to me. So when we looked at organizations that could come in and do it for us, that are specialists in this area, they quoted some pricing. The cabinet has come back with their estimation of hours and plan and how they would handle it themselves. My personal preference is to put this to an organization that provided a quote and a presentation for us, and there's several reasons. When I talk about using our resources efficiently, we've currently asked the cabinet to go and do 4 task force to help us save money in the future, to make sure we do make good decisions in the future of how we're spending our money. We're looking at transportation, we're looking at software licensing, we're looking at 2 other large areas to help us in the future make the best decisions we can. So my concern is if we also give the cabinet the responsibility of the strategic planning, what aren't they doing? So if we focus all their resources on those few things, I think some other things are going to be left behind. I figured out the internal costs based on the hours and did an estimation, and that is right in line with the cost we would pay an external organization to do the strategic plan for us. So it's either a resource or a payment. I think our staff is absolutely capable of doing a strategic plan. That's not in question here. It's about where we use our resources and how we use them efficiently. I also feel we need an external view. So one of the things we've talked about is making sure that we're getting feedback from our community. And when we do that, I want to ensure that we're not looking at it through an internal lens. That we are truly getting a non-biased review from our community input. And so we could get some help from an external provider for that as well. So my concern is making sure that we're allowing our cabinet to do the things in the district that need to be done, that we get a strategic plan in place that reflects our current budget situation as well. It's great to have high hopes and dreams, and I don't want to do this just to check the box. I would like a strategic plan that would allow us to be focused and moving with intent for the next 5 years that we're all on board with. So my personal recommendation is that we look to an outside organization to help us with that. I think it's worth the investment.
Did anybody get a feel for any of the companies that presented? It was very, very difficult for me to hear on the telephone. I would offer very little input. I thought that all of them had good aspects, but could only hear so much. So
We did. We have contacts, I believe, with someone who's used each of those, and so we listed them. I know one of the things the board had asked us for is what would your top 3 be, and they're pretty much listed there in the order after we did some additional reference checking and informal reference checking, if you will. So we looked at their end product. So what did the strategic plans in the school districts that these companies have been working with, did the end product look like? Would that be something that would be of interest to us? And then we had some informal contacts with those top 3, so we were able to do some unofficial reference checking from people who weren't necessarily on the reference list provided by the companies. And so the order of those is the order that would be our recommendation if we were to go external.
Mr. Eaton?
I understand the benefits of going outside of the organization, but at this point in time, where we're at, I don't know that spending $40,000 approximately, if not more, to go out and develop a plan for the next 5 years, I don't know that that's the best thing to do. I would be in favor more of doing something internally, even if we look at maybe even a 2 or 3 year plan, and then see where we are after these couple of years to see if that's something we need to move forward with. I know we've been making some steps with community engagement and community attachment, but I think that we have a ways to go before we can actually expect one of these agencies to go out and really poll the community and get a true community consensus to help us develop a meaningful strategic plan.
Whichever route we select, there will be a very thorough community engagement portion to it. And that's true whether it's an external organization or whether we will do it internally. There will be, the way we structured it, 4 different members of our community to make sure that we get their input on the process and surveys as well.
Ms. Walker?
Is it possible to do some sort of a hybrid where we hire somebody, maybe it's not $40,000, maybe it's a fraction of that, and we can do some of the work in-house, and then they can help structure the plan and the sorts of things that they're very experienced in doing? Is that
Certainly, in addition to this, have explored some of that option as well. So there are some individuals locally with some expertise, might not be the organization with all of the experience working with education and school as these companies that we've presented, but there are certainly individuals in the area with expertise in strategic planning that we could do hourly as needed work for us, maybe facilitating some meetings, maybe putting some of the data together for some of the meetings. So to decrease some of the workload that Ms. Cope is referring to, we certainly could look to some local people who have some experience in strategic planning to support us in the work. And we've identified a couple, and we haven't really necessarily cast the net wide and started looking in any detail with that.
You know, one of the things that over the years we've always had some sort of help outside the organization. I don't think that's a bad thing because it gives other folks, we sort of get narrow-minded in our own little box, and we forget what else is out there. And I think that sometimes you have to reach outside the organization to get good feedback, because I know that when Lindenwood did the strategic plan for us that we have that we just kind of worked off of, there was some things in there that we just didn't think about or have in our plan prior. So I think it's a combination of both. I think we have to dig down, do as much work as we can internally, but I still think you need that external component to encompass a strategic plan that supports the district and the community. Mr. Summer.
Thank you, Mr. Lafata. Having been involved in the strategic plan, the last 2 that we've done, one internal, one external, it's a give and take. There's pros and cons to each one, and at this point I think I'm in the position that we're probably to the point where we do need an external company just to have another set of eyes, if you will, more objective views than what we might have internally. Not that if we did it internally the process would be tainted, but I think the more involved we can get the community and individuals, the better success we're going to have with the strategic plan. But the question I have is, with the CEC proposal, there is the $39,600 proposal, and then there's the basic $17,600. And refresh my memory, what is the difference between those two?
So, Mr. Summer, for the discounted version, if you will, they won't actually travel here and, for example, facilitate all of the meetings. They'll provide a process, an agenda, a rundown, and we'll have to facilitate ourselves. So they would oversee as much of the process. They just wouldn't travel to St. Louis to do as much in person.
And that also includes travel. Is there a cap on the travel? Is it open-ended?
That answer I do not know off the top.
They're coming from Chicago, so I'm sure that would be something we could work into the.
That's a train ticket, yeah, okay.
Get some cheap Southwest fares.
All right, thank you.
I've never experienced MSBA's strategic plan. They're more local, they're cost effective, but I don't know what, Mr. Summer?
Yeah, I can actually comment on that because actually 2 days after we had our last meeting, I actually had a chance to go through the strategic plan with MSBA because MSBA's board did our strategic plan led by their leaders. And I can tell you they do a great job. I was very impressed with the 3 individuals that were involved. But they did admit, when we had the conversation last time, that they simply have not recently done a school district of our size. Not that they couldn't do it. It's just not some of the experiences they've had. So I have had a very positive input with MSBA strategic plan and the 3 folks that led it. And that would be another option if we want to go down that road.
I think MSBA shared with me that they, in the last 5 years, have facilitated 2 strategic plans for school districts. Both of them were in Jefferson County. I believe it was Dunklin and perhaps Festus. I think.
I know you're all looking at me like give us the answer, and I agree with everything that's been said up there. So I think there are pros and cons to going external, and I think those have all been outlined by board members. I understand the place that we're at from a financial situation and the cost and the cost benefit that you would get from going external, and also the perception of spending the money at this point in time in France Hall history. We are prepared to do it internally if that is the desire of the board. And again, we have identified some local people who might support us in an hourly if needed. We certainly see an advantage to some of the outside groups having that third-party view. Agree that sometimes you work in an organization and you don't see what you don't see. And so it's not that we consider ourselves biased. We certainly don't feel like we have bias. But sometimes it's difficult to see things after working in an organization for a while, or to hear things that people are trying to tell you. So we're open for whatever the board decides, and
the one thing
that's
that
why we left it blank up in there.
The one thing that I saw in the presentation was that Hanover Research did Rockwood School District's plan. So did we have an opportunity to talk to them at all about?
Yes, when we did our informal checking, what we found from Hanover is that they weren't going to be able to deliver what we really wanted.
Okay.
So what Rockwood used them for was for researching things that they knew were going to be in their strategic plan, not for helping produce a strategic plan.
Okay.
So they were great at research, but not necessarily at the strategic planning component.
Okay, so that's one off the list. What about Cambridge?
Cambridge would, go ahead, Matt.
They were our 3rd choice. They're probably the most experienced organization. They've worked with over 1,000 different school districts. We just felt for our needs that they were not the top choice.
Okay.
And one other thing on Cambridge, I'm kind of concerned on the short timeline.
I believe in the proposal they offered 2 timelines. There was some concern that perhaps the board wanted a finished product before the end of the school year. So they offered that, but then they also offered a preferable timeline, which was basically a full year.
Okay.
If the board is interested in outsourcing, CEC, or the Consortium for Educational Change, is the one that, after our research, we believe is most economical and also will deliver the product that we are most looking for. We did some checking. We certainly had some context for some people who have used them, and we're happy with the process that they provided. Also, what we liked most about them is that they will provide something customizable. So it is not a cut and paste strategic planning document, which is something that we were looking for when we were reviewing.
With emphasis on continual improvement, which is ideally part of any good strategic plan.
I think he was first. I think Mr. Hamm was first.
No,
I'm sorry.
Ms. Cope?
I'm sorry, yes. Do you know if any of the rates are negotiable? So, and what I mean is, if we choose to recommend CEC,
And for their dollar amount, can we ask them to include travel, being that close, being Chicago?
Yes, we believe that we have been working diligently with that company, and they are interested in growing this area, and that we would be able to have some wiggle room within that price.
We think we might be able to serve as a loss leader for them in the St. Louis and eastern Missouri market.
Mr. Hain?
Yeah, and I know a couple of things that I've heard said is that, I just want to make clear, this is a strategic plan, this is not an audit. So an audit would point out some different things like cost savings, inefficiencies, and different things like that. Your strategic plan is where we're going to be in a number of years and how we plan on getting there. And, you know, part of the issues that I understand, we need a strategic plan regardless of our financial situation, but, you know, we're very strapped, and I don't know how beneficial, you know, a strategic plan is going to be at this point in time for us to spend this type of funds on it. That's my biggest concern.
Yeah, so a strategic plan, as many of you know, will help us to identify what the community believes our top priorities are, our top strategies should be, the action steps, maybe some things that we should stop doing as a district, and really map out the course for the next 5 or so years. But they are not going to be able to audit from an efficiency standpoint and say this is how you could save some money or gain some efficiencies. I think that's part of our future, and that might be something that would be included in that strategic plan, but that's not what the strategic plan would do for us.
I think a fair, it gives us a fair amount of guidance and support for things that change, such as, you know, taking a look at annually at you know, our schools, and, you know, where we need to be, and what does it take to actually run this organization. And, you know, St. Charles School District is a prime example. I mean, they got out over their skis, and they ended up having to close buildings. So, I mean, this gives you a blueprint to, you know, analyze the school district in a way that you need to take a look at, you know, not only the future of the school district and learning, but also, you know, what does it take to actually run a school district and the resources needed. And that was built in to many strategic plans that we've had in the past. So, you know, you have to have benchmarks in it, and some of the benchmarks that, you know, that need to be in there, you know, I think we can get some guidance from, you know, an outside source to help us with that, because we certainly don't want to be in a position that St. Charles School District found themselves in as a result of not paying attention to things that are indicators to you to make changes. So, Ms. Walker?
So I'm curious how the payments are structured. Is it possible that we could have it split over 2 fiscal years?
We spoke specifically with CEC about the prospect of perhaps doing exactly that, paying half of the bill in the 16-17 fiscal year and the other half in the 17-18 fiscal year, as the process will just correspond to that same time period anyway.
You did a pretty good job of anticipating your questions tonight. I just want to point
Yeah, you did. I would like to move that we go with Consortium for Educational Change for the $39,600, including travel, and that be split over 2 fiscal years. That's my motion.
Second.
Can I recommend an amendment? Of course. Can I do that?
Why don't you
Go for it.
withdraw your second first?
Give us a little haggle room. You might not
Withdraw.
No,
Withdrawn.
no more than that amount.
Perfect.
Not to exceed.
So I move to hire Consortium for Educational Change up to $39,600, including their travel, to be split over 2 fiscal years.
Still a second.
Was there a not to exceed in that motion?
That was absolutely.
Okay, all right. Up to works too. Any discussion on that, board? By roll call?
Mr. Hain?
Aye.
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 Motion carries 7-0. Board, I think everyone kind of went through the update, the slides. Is there any reason to go any further?
The next two items were carryover workshops. One was an update on communications strategies, and the other was human resource strategic planning. Board at retreat had some questions about the hiring process, so Lisa has laid that out in slides for the board. So,
I think we had an opportunity to read. Do we want to go through it?
I don't want to hurt their feelings. I mean, I know you guys put a lot of work into it.
Superintendent comments.
A few things to celebrate. One of the things that was referenced tonight was our I Heart to Code Week. There were coding activities going on all over the district. Many of us were able to visit and observe, and I can share that our students were very, very engaged and excited to be participating in all the activities. Our staff spent much time and energy planning the special events. I can tell you the students that I sat with, there was not enough time in their day to participate in the activities, so it was a great week for our I Heart to Code. As was mentioned earlier, several of us were able to attend the Northland CAP Center for Advanced Studies program. The program really focuses on authentic and intensive projects and internships for our students. And as the board heard last night, several districts in the region are attempting to develop a small-scale version of the program in the very near future. The MSBA Legislative Forum was held this week, where updates were shared at both the national and state level on both budget and upcoming legislation. It's the time of the year when every school is visited by Dr. Garland, Ms. Weitzel, myself, and other cabinet members to review progress on school improvement plans and review data. I can tell you that our schools are making progress towards their goals, and the plans that they develop continue to be strategic and ensure positive outcomes. Next week, we will hold our first Superintendent PTO Booster Roundtable. We are anticipating every school will be represented at that meeting. This Saturday is our Special Education Community Resource Fair. We have over 40 vendors, and hundreds of parents have signed up. Our buildings are currently in the process of selecting their Teacher of the Year, and this is our first year where we will also have a Support Staff of the Year. So we're very excited of that new tradition in our district. And then also it is time to nominate someone for the Hall of Fame, so that application is on the website.
Spencer, thanks for being with us tonight. Would you like to share with us, what do you think of the Cardinals' chances this year without Reyes? Don't know.
Maybe the actual early stories.
Asking questions.
Okay. All right, well, thanks for being with us, Spencer. And good luck to you. Are you a senior? What's that? Oh, that's right. You're middle school. That's right. Yeah.
We'll see you again back here when you're a senior, okay?
Yeah.
He's not coming back. No, thank you.
He'll decline.
No, thank you. Much fun if not.
I forgot Miss Worley changed schools. All right, Board of Education requests for the upcoming meetings. Anything? All right, we're on to upcoming meetings. Is there anything to add to the March 16th meeting? How about the April 6th meeting? Nope. Okay, all right. Okay.
I have a general nebulous upcoming meeting question. With the task force that we are looking at, do we have an idea when they'll be ready for any of the report outs?
We're going to get back to you about that. I don't know yet this time.
All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Summers, second by Ms. Walker. Any discussion? By roll call?
Mr. LaFata?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Meeting adjourned.